Hey, I think today's the 26th of 2015, October. If not, then I'll correct it at some point. So, if I'm wrong, I'll correct it in the description, as I normally do. But this is another episode of Alone in the Dark with Isaac David Brigmond, and it's story time. Story time is where there are stories that come out of my head, and I will tell them to you, and then you will at some point tell me what you think of the story. Alright, it's one of those stories where you have to decide certain things in the story, like names and certain things. If I leave something out, you have to replace it with your version of what it is. Like, if I don't say a name, then you call the people what you want to. If I give them a name, you can replace the name with whatever name you want to. Like guy A in this story, he is a guy that basically just, I don't know, let's say he's a good guy, and he moved to a place that, well, it's like saying it was a place in his hometown that he lived before a long time ago, but he moved back and is living in a different circumstance, and a little better circumstance, yes, me, than before. And so, next thing you know, a lot of people come to him trying to talk to him, and he don't feel like it, but he does it anyway. And then after a while, he's got to tell a lot of them leave him alone, or they just do it on their own. It depends on which comes first. And so one day he meets someone, and he doesn't care about the age thing, regardless of their age, and then they hit it off. Well, it works out, and then, of course, he knows that the woman in the story is basically a good person, and he's trying to be good to her. Now, he knows men and women that he would like to be able to tell things to say, look, I want to deal with y'all, but I want to deal with y'all under certain circumstances. Well, okay, so I guess the moral of the story is that when you're a guy or a girl and you basically move somewhere, don't let the surrounding areas or people mess you up or get you to the point where you're so scared you can't say nothing. Be up front and start telling people how you really feel. You don't hate people, and you don't want to leave some of them alone. You just want some time to them and some time to yourself. Not you're around them 24/7 and can't deal with yourself. We all have related to that story at some point, and we all know people like that where they've had those problems or we've had those problems. And I could be talking about me, and I could be talking about anybody, or I could be talking about everybody. So I guess the point is we all have gone through it before, and we've all dealt with it before. I know I have. I know we all have. And that's also, how about the one about the guy that he goes somewhere, regardless of church or where it is, and he meets hold on, this timer's going off. Hold on, this timer won't shut the mess up. Alright, but okay, sorry about that. This timer I had on a clock went off, and it started going off like that. But anyway, say you got a story about a guy, and he goes somewhere, whether it be a park or church or wherever. That's up to you where the place is. He knows a guy, and he's friendly with the guy, and he gets along with him even if the guy has his issues. Well, the guy has a brother, and he's got worse issues than the first brother in the story did. So your main character finds out that his friend's brother has got worse issues than the friend does. So the friend's brother buddies up with the main character who's, okay, like you got guy A, guy B, and guy C. Guy A is friends with guy B at whatever place they meet at. And guy C is guy B's brother. Say guy B has issues, but guy C has worse issues than guy B. Guy A finds out after guy C tries to buddy up with him. So guy B, he's sort of I guess, oblivious to it yet. He doesn't know much. He knows that his brother Guy C has issues worse than his. So then Guy A finds out about Guy C's issues because Guy C decides, hey, will you take me home to my brother, which is Guy B? And Guy A says sure, because he knows it ain't that far from where they are at. And Guy A would love to just drop Guy C off and that'd be it. No, Guy C's got to make issues for Guy A and say, hey, can we buddy up and do things together? And Guy A knows the problems of Guy C and knows that Guy A does not want to do it. But Mr. B has got a house, and Mr. A knows that Mr. C needs to go to Mr. B's house because Mr. C said to Mr. A, can you take me to my brother Mr. B's house? So they're going there. So we all know we've been through that before too. We've known someone that caused issues with us and wanted to spend a lot of time with us like that when we shouldn't because we know they get us in trouble. So Mr. A tries to do everything he can to get Mr. C out of his life so he can deal with his brother, Mr. B, and just basically have a normal life at wherever it is, church, park, wherever, and whoever else is around. But that's just life. That's just how it goes. And we've got to learn how to stand up and tell people, look, I met you through wherever we both were at the same time, and plus your brother, but that don't mean that I'm going to do everything in the world with you. Thank you. Have a nice day, and God bless you.